out there right now called Side Effects, directed by Steven Soderbergh and starring these two people who are in front of me right now as patient Rooney Mara and shrink Jude Law. All right, well, I think the best way to start then, and because I think we need to tread carefully here, because this is a movie where if your friends are out there seeing it, tell them to shut up. You know, just tell them whether you liked it or not.
Stephen mentioned yesterday, actually, and he said he just went back and saw this film totally by chance, but he talked about the, you know, the films of the past, like Double Indemnity and more recently Jagged Edge, Fatal Attraction, but that they used to be more common, and this relationship that the audience would have with a film where it was like, don't tell your friends, you know, there's a twist, but was more familiar, and this film certainly fits into that, and it's a thrill. It's a thrill when it arrives.
Well, it is, but we now live in the internet age where nobody seems to want to keep a secret
anymore.
It isn't. I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's start with you, patient. Who is this Emily that you're playing? How far can you go in telling us who she is?
You've got the hardest job.
Yeah, I can't really talk about.
Oh, you can. You could at least say that she's got a husband getting out of.
Yes, she is very patient. She's waited 4 years for her husband to get out of prison, and it kind of turns out that him coming back is almost harder than him going away, and they have to sort of re-get to know each other, and that big life change of him coming back sort of sets her off on this depression.
Because he's in for insider trading.
Yes.
4 years. And your life is different now, too.
Yeah.
You're just not living as well as you did when you first married him.
Yeah.
And then comes Dr. Jonathan Banks.
To the rescue.
Yeah, I play a very, what I would call in England, upwardly mobile psychiatrist. He's a Brit working in New York. And he works both at the public hospital and he also has his own practice.
So that's where the Brit accent's coming from.
Yeah.
You were told to play it and you still
40 years I've been in character. Try honing this.
Well done.
This character. Did you believe it?
I am, yes.
But he's a guy, I would say the doctor in this is a guy who prides himself on his abilities. I think he's empathetic towards his patients, but he certainly sees them very much as a kind of equation. He I think prides himself that he can read people pretty quickly and believes and relies very heavily on medication and sees medication as a sort of mathematical sum, if you like, that just needs figuring out and applying. But with this instance, with this case, he can't quite figure it out.
Steven Soderbergh has decided that this will be the last film he will make, perhaps forever. I'm hoping that's a major lie. And what did you do to him?
He decided that before.
Really?
We
was
started
it before,
shooting.
or was it just the experience of
I think he decided a few
made
years
it so
ago.
hard.
No, who knows? I mean, he's not a guy who would say something for effect. He doesn't strike me as someone who's saying something just to be like, I want everyone to stop me. I think he's really gotten to a point where he, and I'm sort of quoting him, not me, but where I think he feels like he doesn't see himself in an industry that's necessarily moving in the direction of
where he wants
evolution. I think he doesn't see it going where he believes it could go. And I think also he has loads of other interests,
Yeah,
right?
he's going to keep, you know, creating things. He's still going to do all sorts of things.
Painting, photography.
Theater.
Theater.
I think television he still wants to be a part of. Yeah, his photography.
Well,
everything.
he has the Liberace movie, doesn't he, to go there. But you too, working with him now, knowing that he had said this, didn't try to stop him? Didn't you? Come on, Rooney. You didn't go up to him and say, Steven.
No, I asked him about
Really?
it, but again, he's not a guy who says something that he doesn't mean. So he'd obviously been very thoughtful in his decision, and I think it's a shame, but I think he's probably making the right decision for him, and maybe, you know, 10 years from now he'll come back, but I think he'd come back even better if that's even possible, because I think he put a lot of thought into his decision.
What happens? We hear, those of us who are outside of all of this, that takes you inside to the business of crafting a film. We always hear about chemistry reads and getting to know you before you're cast, that two actors have to do. What did you have to do with Jude?
Nothing.
Nothing. It was just
I was
cast.
personally really keen on this particular job because I know what you mean. I mean, the woman who plays my wife, Vanessa, I realized suddenly, one of the first days of filming, we had to go in and do a really domestic scene. So I got them to give me her number, and we went out for dinner, and we planned our, like, how we had met, and we put a background and had a couple of glasses of wine, and we were like, okay, at least now we feel like we can turn up tomorrow and be like, hey, hi. But I was quite keen with you to try actually and keep a sort of distance so that the first few times we met, there really was this sense of introduction and separation in a way, because it was important to the roles, I think.
Yeah, and same thing with Channing, because he is sort of just coming back into my life. We kind of wanted it to have sort of a awkward re-getting to know you kind of thing.
I'm just thinking now that you probably don't know each other. It's finished. You've never really shared stories of growing up. Nothing like that happened, just to keep the mystery going.
Well, you do. You swap a little, but also at the same time, at the end of the day, it's a job, and you work that. You know, you have to work that into your own life, which continues alongside. And
real life, you let that intrude?
Sadly. It intrudes. It intrudes.
It just comes
violently.
in even when you don't really want it to.
But you know, I think also there is a certain intensity and a certain level of trust that you exchange that bonds you in some way. You know, and you meet again, and it's not like you start again. It's like you swap. It's an intense relationship for, say, 10 weeks, 2 months, whatever it may be. What's the